Hey guys, what's going on? Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. We got a couple of days left and then we're hitting straight into Saturn goes into Aries. But today's video is more about the South Node. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the South Node. I personally love the North Node and the South Node because the South Node tells you where you're going, well, where you've been, and the North Node kind of points the direction to where you need to go. But don't get too caught up in the North Node, because the North Node actually, if you try to like follow the North Node, the whole point of the North Node is to bring you to a point in life where you feel balanced. That's the whole point of it. So anything over balance, like you feel like you need something, whenever something becomes a need, that's when you need to stop, recalibrate and pull yourself back from that. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is South Node. Let's talk about the South Node energy. A lot of you are probably interested in what happens if someone's South Node is conjunct to any of your personal planets. So that's what we're going to get into today. So relax, grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, anything you need to help you relax, because we're gonna get into it. So what does the South Node actually do? The South Node is all about the past. Basically, what they did in a past life, or, well, let's talk about it like this way. Your South Node shows you the past. So who you are today, if you're still operating from the South Node, that's a hint where you need to grow out of it. So if you're still doing the things that your South Node says that people with such and such South Node do, and that's what you find yourself doing, that's when you know that that's like an email from the universe saying, hey, we need to grow. We need to evolve, because the whole point of being in this lifetime, being in this incarnation, is to go towards your North Node, to go grow, to evolve, to become more than your South Node. All right. So that's why you'll even notice with South Nodes, it's the opposite. It's like if someone has a South Node in Leo, their North Node will be in Aquarius. So you get what I'm saying? So when we talk about South Nodes, we talk about where have you been? What have you seen? Not only in this lifetime, but in past lifetimes. All right. I'm going to do a separate video just talking about South Node if you guys are interested. And I'm going to do a separate video talking about North Nodes if you guys are interested. But for now, what we're going to talk about is what happens when someone's South Node is conjunct to your personal planets. So a person's South Node represents where they've been before, their past life habits, comfort zones, and karmic patterns. If it's conjunct to your personal planets, like your sun, your moon, your Mercury, your Venus, or Mars, here's what can happen. Familiarity and past life connections are a big key point here. You may feel an immediate bond with that person. Like, I know you, I've known you before. You feel drawn to them because, they activate something ancient in you. 2, they could represent repetition. Over time, that connection can start to feel like a loop. Their soul might want to keep replaying old dynamics with you. But if your soul is trying to grow or evolve, like I was talking about, if you're trying to reach your North Node destiny, this can feel restrictive. This person will feel restrictive. Like, give you an example. If, you have someone whose South Node conjuncts your moon, and you used to feel a certain way, you used to have certain emotions about something, and now you're evolving from it, you're changing your feelings towards it. This person may come across negative to you, like, oh, why are you feeling like that now? Why are you changing how you feel about this? You have to understand, we are beings that need to grow and evolve. So it's okay if you change your feelings, especially if it's towards the positive. But say like you used to drink all the time, and this was your drinking buddy. Now you're telling your drinking buddy, listen, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And your drinking buddy's like, oh, but we used to have so much fun. Oh, you think you're better than us because you don't want to drink anymore? Why? Why don't you want to drink with us anymore? You see that restrictiveness? You see that negativeness right now? If you're trying to grow out of the habit of drinking, that's good for you. That's a positive. And if there's a person in your life that's trying to hold you back from it, that keeps calling you out, keeps pouring drinks, keeps telling you, oh, no, have a drink with us, have a drink with us. That's how you know that person may be, they may have their south node conjunct to your some personal planet that's stopping you from growing out of drinking, right? Leaving that drinking habit behind. So that's an example I'll give you right there. So their soulmate may want to keep replaying old dynamics with you. But if your soul is trying to grow and evolve, this can feel restrictive, like I said, almost like they subconsciously want you to stay the same because your growth is threatening their comfort zone. So roles of the personal planets, okay? This is how it goes. So if you have someone in your life whose south node is conjunct with your sun, this person may dim your shine or unconsciously compete with your identity. I'm going to say it again. If you are friends with someone, or if you're dating someone, or if you have a family member, if you have a connection with someone who has their south node conjunct to your sun, this person is going to dim your shine, meaning as you are trying to, let's say you get a new haircut, this person is going to say to you, oh, I don't like your haircut. You shouldn't have done that. You say that you want to do something, where it's changing you in a sense of how you always used to be. I can't think of another example right now other than the fact that, you get a haircut and this person's like, no, I don't like your hair. Or why are you acting like this? You never used to act like this before. Depending on how you're acting, if it's being more positive, being more, if you're educating yourself in a sense like that, then this person is saying, why are you doing this? That person is operating from that south node, which is trying to dim your shine. And then, like I said, unconsciously trying to compete with your identity. What is your identity? Who you are, what you like, what you represent. And if they start telling you, oh, remember how you used to be like this? Remember how you used to do that? That person is secretly trying to compete with you. Now, if they have their moon if they have their south node conjunct your moon, they might trigger old emotional patterns, creating codependency or regression. What did I say to you? If you were a person who used to drink and smoke all the time and you hung out with these people, or you hung out with this one person that you smoke with and you drank with all the time, now all of a sudden you tell this person, listen, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to smoke anymore. And this person's like, but why? But why? We used to do this all the time. You're boring now. That you see what's going on? They don't want you to grow. So that codependency, you get it? So think about it for a second. Do you have someone like that around you? Get rid of them. That's all I'm going to say to you. Now, if someone's south node is conjunct to your Mercury, conversations can circle around past themes. They may not get your new ideas. This is a good one. This is for my entrepreneurs. You know how you always get that negative comment from that person when you tell them, oh, I'm going to start up a business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh, but it's not going to work. Oh, but it's going to do this. Oh, but it's going to do that. And they're always negative about it. Check their birth chart. Their south node may be somewhere that your Mercury is, that their south node may be conjunct to your Mercury. And that's why they're trying to hold you back from the new ideas that are coming in. And guys, listen, they're not doing this on purpose because this is what they were born to do. A lot of times you don't understand. South node deals with past life. In a past life somewhere, this person did the same thing to you, held you back, and you weren't able to grow. Now, this lifetime, they're doing the same thing. Now, it's up to you to be more aware of this, and it's up to you to discern this factor and to move forward from this, okay? Remember, the universe is always going to bring up things from the past to see if you're strong enough to move forward. So if you have someone in your life who has a south node conjunct with your Mercury is all about conversation, communication, intellect, ideas, talking, conversation. This person, is gonna get in the way of your new ideas, okay? Or they may not understand your new ideas. The next one up is a little more interesting for people. Say you have someone's South Node conjunct to your Venus. You're going to feel a deep affection, but potentially unhealthy attachment or romantic nostalgia. Obsession. You might feel obsessed with them, or they might feel obsessed with you. And it goes hand in hand in the sense where you are supposed to bypass this. And if this person keeps coming up and you're thinking, oh, it's a past life connection. Oh, we're meant to be together. Maybe you're not. Maybe this person was just brought to you to remind you of how you used to love, how you used to view things that dealt with love. And now it's time for you to change that perspective. Especially if you keep getting pulled back to that person, that's where you need to know that you need to let this go. Mars is an interesting one. It's old sexual competitive dynamics. Basically, it brings out the passive aggressiveness of conflict. So if you know someone who has their South Node conjunct to your Mars, understand that it's going to be this old push and pull thing there where you're going to want control. They're going to want control. And we all know a relationship built on push and pull control is not going to work. That's not a relationship. That is competing. That is a race. You know what I mean? And love is not supposed to be a competition. So Venus and Mars, you really want to be very, very mindful about this, that when you date someone or you bring someone into your life, where is their South Node hitting you? Is it hitting you in your Venus? Then you need to pull back a little bit. Is it hitting you in your Mars? You need to pull back a little bit. You need to be aware of these things. But I mean, it's not always bad. Sometimes these connections exist to be resolved. The South Node person might act as a catalyst, showing you what you've outgrown. Once you recognize the pattern, you can break free. Just remember that. Again, like I said, the universe will bring these people into your life to show you this is where you need to work on yourself. If someone's South Node is conjunct one of your personal planets, they might unintentionally try to keep you in the past version of yourself. It's not always malicious. It's energetic memory. But yes, it can absolutely feel like being held back if you're evolving past their frequency. Does that make sense to everyone? Do you get it? Like, do you guys understand what I'm saying now? So that's why it's so important to when you go into business with someone, when you marry someone, when you become friends with someone, to see where their South Node is. Check out where their South Node is and then see where it is in your chart. Is it in your personal planets? Is it in your first house, your second house, your third house? Is it in your sun, your moon, your rising? Because from there, you'll be able to tell the story of where this journey is going to go with this person. Make sense? All right, that's good. I hope it makes sense, because sometimes you guys really need to be careful. Like, I dealt with someone who had a South Node in a place in my chart where I was supposed to evolve from a certain thinking process, like a certain thinking pattern. And when I did, it literally changed this person completely. We were fine in the beginning, right? We were fine. We saw eye to eye. But then soon as I got to a certain point in that timeline of our friendship and I started outgrowing them, it bothered them. It changed them. They became more aggressive, more passive aggressive, in a sense where, like, why are you doing that? Why are you thinking like that? Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I'm going to tell you guys something. Not all relationships and connections are perfect, right? But if you can find someone that is willing to step back and let you grow, just like you're willing to step back and let them grow, that's all you really need. Balance. Because again, whatever connection you're dealing with, especially when it comes to a love connection, an emotional connection, you're both supposed to be entities of your own. You're supposed to be individuals. And if someone is trying to keep you stuck in a rut, or keeps doing a loop with you, like you keep seeing the same scenario happening again and again with this person, whether it's misunderstandings, whether it's jealousy, whether it's envy, whether it's arguments, whatever it is, you really need to sit down and ask yourself, is this really worth my growth? Is this really worth my peace? Because once you bypass all of that, most of your manifestations will come in. Most of the growth that you want to happen will come in. The peace that you're trying to attain will come in. That's why, again, it's so important to understand where these aspects are in your birth chart and the birth charts of the people that you are in connection with. Now, I'm not saying that you're supposed to meet everyone that you're in connection with is supposed to be a healthy, positive thing. Like I said, some of these people that come into your life that have these south nodes conjunct to your personal planets are catalysts. The meaning of a catalyst is basically a turning point in your life that makes you realize whether you move forward or you stay where you are. It is that important moment in your life that pivots you to understand that this is not where you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to move forward from. Like, I'll give you an example. A good catalyst is some of the people that you come in contact with as lovers. Some of you think that these are your end all be all. These are your meant to be's. These are the people you're going to marry. And when you don't end up marrying them, or when you end up breaking up with them, or when you end up or when you end up, the friendship, when you end the friendship with these people, it hurts. Of course it hurts, because you knew these people in a past life. All your catalysts are people that you knew in a past life. All catalysts that come into your life, believe it or not, are people that you signed contracts with before you decided to incarnate in this lifetime. You all sat down in the room, right? And in a room in a galaxy somewhere far away, in a nice little room, right? With plants. It kind of reminds me of like a waiting room in like a studio. Like somewhere in a studio. Like, you know how NBC has a waiting room, a green room. That's what it is. I feel like you guys sat in a green room and you looked at the script and this catalyst said, listen, you know what? I volunteer to help you get through this point. I'll come in, I'll shake you up, and then I'll remind you how you need to move forward. And then you were like, well, how are you going to remind me? Well, I'm going to do to you everything that I did to you in this lifetime, in this past lifetime, that you weren't able to get past. And I'm gonna help you in that. So most of these catalysts that you end up, holding grudges against, being envious towards, being jealous towards, being upset towards, these are people from your past life that were at one point your best friends. Only best friends and people that were close to you in your past life will stand up for this position because they want you to grow. So it's not that they're against you. This is why I never have any hate towards my enemies. Honestly, I don't even feel like I have enemies anymore. I feel like I have people who played certain roles in my life that helped me grow. This is why I don't hate them. I don't have any negative feeling towards them. I don't hold any malicious feelings towards them, because I know what they did. They had to do that in order for me to grow, in order for me to get to where I need to go. And I hope I did the same for them, because I could be a catalyst in somebody's life where someone is sitting there, hating me for something I said or did, but doesn't realize that I played that role in their life to wake them up. So most of you really need to change that thought process when you think of people. People in your life always play a role. They're always there to play a role. They're always there to be a catalyst, to show you the next journey that you need to be on. That's why to harbor feelings of jealousy and hate and negative feelings towards people, that's a very human thing to do. Ascended souls, mature souls, old souls don't feel that way. I'm an old soul myself. I don't feel that way. If you fucked me over at any point in my life or in my journey, I don't hate you. I honestly don't. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you, and I wish the best for you, because thank you so much for doing what you did, because of what you did, I am who I am today. So, so that's how you start looking at things. When you start looking at things that way, you're growing. Number one, you're evolving, and you're really leaving behind that human husk that you're in, because as a human, these feelings are supposed to be there. Yes, the desire, the jealousy, the animalistic, the primitive feeling of trying to conquer something. But as a soul, because that's what you are to begin with, you're a soul inside of a human body. You're a spiritual being inside of a human body. You must evolve. You must listen to the spiritual side of yourself and say, you know what? Such and such did that because they needed me to grow. Universe felt that it was important to send this person into my life in order to help me grow. Once you start looking at things that way, the hate, the envy, the anger, the hate, like I said again, the hate, I'm going to repeat it again, hate, it dissolves. It really just dissolves, and you really feel ascended. You feel like you've moved up in that level of you being that spiritual being that came here to experience human experiences. Because at the end of the day, I think most of you forget we're spiritual beings just having human experiences. And a human experience is jealousy. A human experience is love. A human experience is pain. A human experience is anger. Spiritual beings don't have these experiences. They don't. That's why they are put into human bodies to experience this and to teach others about this. We're coming to a point in time, in this world, in this galaxy, I guess you can say, right? In this universe, that we are all growing towards one thing, and that is becoming ascended, right? It's either you ascend or you stay stuck. So if you are looking for ascension, please remember that it starts with you. Let go of the negativity. That's why we tell you, if you're negative, your manifestations are going to be really hard to come in because you're pushing from a negative point of view or you're pushing from a negative intention. Come back into love. That's what you need to do. Come back into love. Even someone who pissed you off, who totally betrayed you, if you look at them through the eyes of love, it'll all dissolve. And now you're going to say, well, how can I look at them through the eyes of love? It's very easy. Just understand that they had to play that role. That role was assigned by both of you. You literally sat in a green room somewhere far away in the galaxy, and you said to each other, I'm going to do this so you can wake up. And that person said, okay, I'm going to do this so you can wake up. So it's basically teamwork in a sense. Even your enemy is actually helping you. Think about it. All right? I know it's a little heavy to swallow, but, it's kind of like, in a sense, saying that, it goes back to that point of forgiving. Just let it go. And you're like, well, they did this to me and they did that to me. I totally understand. I totally get it. But do you want to live the rest of your life hating or being jealous of someone or comparing yourself to someone? Or don't you want to live being free and happy and in peace? And the only way you're going to find that freedom, that happiness, and that peace is to let go of these feelings that make you heavy. All right. I love you guys. I hope this message helped. And yeah, that's it. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Also, I wanted to add something very important before I say goodbye. When you walk away from these people, you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it within yourself. I feel like this is something very important that I forgot to touch bases on. When you walk away from these people, you can say it quietly inside your heart. Please forgive me for anything that I've done to you intentionally or unintentionally in this lifetime or a past lifetime. Some of us are lucky enough to say this to the people, which basically breaks the contract. In a sense, you stop the contract from moving forward. Once you say these lines in your heart or out loud to someone, and I'm going to say it again, please forgive me if I've done anything to hurt you in this lifetime or a past lifetime, and I hope that you can forgive me if I've hurt you in this lifetime or a past lifetime. I wish you nothing but love. Once you utter these words out of your mouth, the universe gets pinged and says, you know what, contract done. Because till you don't come to this point, and you really have to mean it, you can't just say it like, oh, I like red, and you really don't. You have to really mean it. You have to have an intention behind it. What will happen is it'll stop the contract. I guarantee you, you will not deal with this person again. And if you do, it'll be on a different level. It'll be a new contract that'll be drawn again. Now, whether that contract is going to be similar to the contract that you walked away from, or is it going to be a new contract, that depends on you and your intention. So if you really want to stop dealing with someone that is holding you back, keeping you stuck, it is very important to let the universe know that you forgive this person, not only in this lifetime, but any other previous lifetimes that you had with them. Because if not, the cycle's going to keep continuing. Okay, I really wanted to add that in. And if you have more questions about that, please leave comments at the bottom and I'll help you out with that. I'll do a completely different video on this whole forgiving part of your contract, and kind of like, it's like a lot of people run and try to break cords, right? You light candles to break cords or whatever the case is. The best way to break a contract is just to speak the words, I forgive you. I hope you can forgive me. Because that's basically what your soul incarnated in this lifetime to do, to let it go, to forgive it. All right. I hope that helps everybody. And now I'm actually saying goodbye. All right. Bye.